Damn, see this on fucking TV, man.
I'm sorry.
Motherfucking cable off. Shit, I'm making. Hey, bring me something to drink. Yeah, the motherfucking crazy horse do. That'll work. Damn, shit on this motherfucker. Oh shit, what the fuck is this?
Hosted by myself, T. Vance, BK Short, and Brian Hatch sometimes. Maybe Glenn fills in once in a while sometimes. But tonight's just me and Short. But on our podcast, we discuss our own point of views on the topic of hip-hop and the music that helped to develop a culture that is celebrated worldwide. How's it going?
Good, man. Bringing it back to the basics, huh?
Yeah, seems like we get this way every couple episodes, but...
back where it all started.
Always. That's kind of tonight's topic is where we started.
Yep.
Yeah. Some people may not know that we had a group that we formed in the past called the Lynx Connect. So we figured we'd discuss that and kind of our musical background and where we came from. I know we discussed a little bit of it in the past couple episodes here and there. But we really haven't touched on it completely.
Yeah, I think, since we do have a podcast, it's probably fitting that we at least tell people what the hell why we know a little bit about music and, hip-hop music and the fact that we actually did do stuff, produce stuff and, wrote songs and performed and, all that good stuff. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Been in that boat. So I know on the, I think you've talked about beatboxing in a few episodes. That you went over, that you got into that. Was that your first exposure to getting into rap yourself?
I think that beatboxing was probably my first way of getting into it. I mean, I guess I didn't. I did that my entire life. I mean, seriously, I beatbox. That was my thing. I would always go to even elementary school. I was always beatboxing, always making noises and. Just kind of that kid, just be on the playground doing it and stuff and not really knowing what it all meant at that point. I'd beatbox, but I didn't really know that I didn't tie it together with hip hop at that point, I don't think.
Okay.
And then, later on I kind of, kept on doing it. And then I never really met anybody that did it with me, especially back then, like when I was living in Allen Park, I never could really meet anybody, besides the person who taught me how to do it. And he was older. But yeah, I think that was like my first, I guess that was my first form of instrument in a way. And, it's, how I started hearing the beat and started figuring out what a beat sounded like. And what really got me interested in it too, and it's one of those things that's stuck with me. I mean, to this day, I still beatbox. I do it to my my kids and stuff, and they crack up. And actually, I was in Michigan just a couple weeks ago, and my niece was sitting there, and I don't even know how I started doing it, but I started making some noises and started beatboxing a little bit, and she was just amazed. She looks at me and she says, "Uncle Brian, you should go on America's Got Talent." And I said, "I'm not that good." But, but it's always been a fun thing, and it's always been one of those things that kind of, I don't know, I think it's one of those things that got overlooked when hip-hop, it's one of the starts, because really, if you think about it, back in the day when there were ciphers going on, if you didn't have someone that could beatbox, you didn't have a beat most of the time.
Yeah, just be a cappella.
Yeah, so that was always a big element of hip hop, especially in the beginning. And I just kind of took it and ran with it and started, doing my own things and trying to learn things. And I mean, I still listen to different people and hear things, and I'm like, holy cow, I'm blown away by some of the stuff people could do with their mouth, with beatboxing and stuff. So So yeah, that's probably my first exposure for sure.
You're a really good freestyler. Did you start writing first before freestyling, or?
No, no, I think I actually started freestyling first. I remember like when I was probably, oh God, probably 13 or 14, I'd like make up little raps about like just stupid, silly stuff, you know. And I was really big in school. I was really big into poems. I loved writing poems. That was like my favorite thing to do. And I was really good in those classes, you know, in English class and stuff. I'd always be really good at that. And I think I kind of just started started free. I think I did write a little bit, but the writing was so bad that it was just like it was one of those things that I'd look back at it and just be like, this is horrible. And I remember I would like try to rap it back then, and it just didn't sound good to me. So
Yeah.
I would always I'd beatbox a lot, and then so a lot of times when I was always the person making the beat, so I never actually was the person as the lyricist at that time. And it wasn't until probably around the time I met you when I started really, putting more into the lyrics and really seeing that I could freestyle. And it came naturally to me for some reason. Like I could like just zone out and words would just come naturally to me that would work in my rhymes. And then I started writing more because I started realizing that you can't write a song by freestyling all the way, so there was a lot of times where I'd be like, oh man, this is a great song. And then I'd freestyle, the hook, and then I'd forget it.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh shit, what the hell did I just say? So that's why I started writing stuff down. And I mean, I used to have a gigantic book of stuff. I got rid of a lot of it because I thought my kids probably would get a hold of it someday, and that probably wouldn't be too great. But a lot of it was just, it went with the time of my adolescence and growing up and girls and all that kind of stuff, which, some of it was funny and some of it was probably a little bit over the top, I guess. But but yeah, I think that I definitely just, I still freestyle to this day. I mean, I drive in the car constantly and just do it. Probably drives my wife crazy half the time because I just start rapping just out of nowhere. And, it's something I enjoy. It's something I enjoy watching too. I love seeing rappers come out there and just kill it with a freestyle. And it kind of drives me crazy though, because for some reason I feel like a lot of people don't know the real definition of freestyling, because I see rappers out there that say they're freestyling and that shit is so written it's ridiculous.
So what's your definition of a freestyle? Straight
off the cuff.
Okay.
I mean, something that you're making up as you're going along. That's a freestyle, not something that you wrote and you're memorized. I saw a video one day with cannabis.
Ooh.
And I was really, really thrown back by this video because he was sitting at a table with Big Pun, DMX, Mos Def, and they were all freestyling. You could tell by the other people at the table that it was straight freestyle. And Cannabis said, I want to go last, I want to go last, I want to go last. And then he gets up there and he literally raps an entire verse to, was that Second Round Knockout?
Yeah.
And I was just like, what? Like, this is, you could tell it was written, and I mean, there's a lot of people that I've come across in my, time in hip hop that just said it straight up. Look, I can't freestyle. I can't figure it out, which is
me.
Fine.
That's me.
Some people that happens to, but, it's not an easy thing to be able to come up with ideas and that quickly. And trust me, there's been freestyles that I've spit that I'm like, what the hell did I just say? I mean, everybody's done it, but it's kind of one of those things that you gotta, I don't know, you pick the good with the bad, I guess. And it's fun too. I mean, we used to have a lot of fun just hanging out with friends and just having a blast and rapping and, doing that kind of stuff. And we recorded a lot of it. So that's probably a big difference than a lot of people, because a lot of ciphers just went unnoticed.
Yeah. When you mentioned Cannabis, his freestyle, I thought you were going to talk about the battle he recently did where he pulled out the notepad.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah, I forget who he was battling, and he was going against this dude, like, round for round, and he wasn't doing so hot, and he literally pulls out a notepad, and people just start booing the shit out of him, and he's just like, hold up, and he's just spitting these written rhymes, and they weren't even, it wasn't even like a battle rap, because he wasn't really directed at the guy or anything, and it was unfortunate. It just, it looked really bad.
I don't even understand why someone would even go there with that. Like, I've never gotten in a battle rap before. I mean, that's something I've never done. But but why would you even go to that point if you can't do it?
Yeah, take your L and walk away.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Cannabis fan. Like, that dude is a straight up lyricist. Like, I think a lot of people don't like him because a lot of the shit that he talks about just goes over their heads. I mean, he uses a lot of big words, but it makes you think, and he can spit.
Yeah, I mean, his lyrics are amazing. I mean, when it comes to writing, and that's the thing is, some people might not be able to freestyle that great, but they can write amazing songs. So I guess you have to pick your poison with that. For me, it was like, I think I wrote some good songs, and I think I'm definitely a better freestyler than I am a writer. But I got a lot of my ideas from freestyle. I mean, there was a lot of times where I would just be driving down the street listening to one of your beats, or a beat that I had got from Will or something, and just come up with a hook, and then kind of ran with it, And then once for me, it was like once you found a hook, then you could kind of write a song pretty quickly with it. So for me at least, but I mean, other people do it the other way around. So
yeah, I remember working with you at Metropolis and seeing you take the little napkin pads and like write your lyrics and shit on there back in the day, like late 90s.
Oh yeah, I had plenty of those, man. Yeah, it's crazy how you come up with some of the songs and stuff, and obviously back then I was a little suited up, so I'd come up with a lot of inspiration, I think, from that. I mean, just I'd get in this zone and just start whatever I would be writing or whatever, and some of it, like I said, some of it was just horrible, but it was fun doing that. You know?
You got to start somewhere. I know if I was to pull out my book of rhymes, I still got and look through shit in there, it'd be like, wow.
Yeah, exactly, and that's one of the reasons that I got rid of a lot of my stuff, because I started looking through it and I'm like, God, this stuff is horrible. It's like I don't even want to keep this, but I guess it's a process trying to learn and
practice. Same thing with with me with making beats. I listen back to some like old stuff. I mean, even stuff I made a few years ago. It's just, you can just tell it develops over time.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I bet you a lot of rappers, if you listen to some of their stuff from back in the day, it's probably not that great. They get better and better, especially with their speed and their cadence and the way they spit. I mean, because that's the biggest thing, is trying to figure out how you want to flow. You don't want to sound like anybody else. That's always something that I always wanted to make sure I didn't sound like, and when I was coming up, the big person was Eminem. That was like, right in the mix of that was, I mean, I had already been doing it for a long time before Eminem got real big, but it's like anybody that sees a white guy rapping is all automatically like, oh, another Eminem.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to distance myself from that as much as possible, and I think I did pretty good at that with just being myself and doing my own thing.
For me, my startings were, as far as writing, the oldest recollection I can ever have of me writing was in middle school. I had this like 6th grade. I had this diary, like one of those ones that had like the little flap over it, you put a little padlock on it. And I remember writing dirty rhymes in there and just like cussing in it. So that's why I kept it in there, so I could keep the padlock on. I was like, don't want Mom finding that.
Nobody can see this.
Yeah, and nobody ever did, thank God, because I'm sure it was terrible.
Yeah, too bad you still didn't have that. That would be a classic right there.
Yeah. So as far as my writing, I mean, that's the first time I ever remember writing anything. But for me, I'm more of a production guy. I've always been more into like the beats And I actually started off making like mixtapes. Like I would make mixtapes back in the day, like that weren't like, all right, I'm just gonna put this song, then it's gonna go to the next song. Like I would like do blend tapes and try to get it to cue to the next song, like cut off in the middle and switch. Obviously, I didn't have like a mixer, so I wasn't fading, so it sounded like shit. But sometimes I would do things like where like an artist would use a sample from another artist, and then I would have that tape, and then where they're using that sample, I would cut in the original version, and it would go into that song. So I'd do shit like that. I remember at one point I probably had like 20-something tapes. And honestly, I'd never even pass them around. They're really just for me to listen to and make. And just something
just something that you were doing.
Yeah. So I got into that. Didn't have money for turntables and stuff, but I used to always get like the Source magazines, and I'd always see the ads in the back for like the different stores and stuff that had all the different samplers and drum machines and shit. And I always wanted that stuff, but never had a means to get it. So actually, when I first started getting into production, though, I think it was like 99. I had my first computer built for me. My parents never had a computer, and Chris built me a computer and hooked me up with Fruity Loops, like the first Fruity Loops. So it was within like the year that program had come out. So I started tinkering around with that. There was a couple other programs I had, like Thunder Drum or something like that. So I was just learning patterns and learning how to make beats and drums, sets and whatnot. Nothing great, but it was my start.
Yeah.
And then I kept building, like, getting the latest, like, Fruity Loops whenever it would upgrade and stuff like that. And then I eventually, shortly after getting the computer, I finally had my own money, because I had my own job. So went out and bought some turntables, bought a shitload of records, and then we didn't have YouTube and stuff like that. So, and I didn't know anybody else that was spinning at the time, so I was self-taught on everything. Like, nobody taught me anything.
Yeah.
So I just started learning how to scratch and loop beats. Like, I'd buy duplicate records and stuff and just learn how to, like, loop beats. That way when we all got together that I could, like, loop shit and you guys could freestyle over it. So I bought microphones. I went out and bought a keyboard. My first one was a Yamaha DJX.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I would tinker around with that a little bit. I honestly didn't use it as much as I should have.
Yeah, I remember, like, going down to your basement at your parents' house a lot, and that's kind of where we started doing some stuff, and then in my basement doing some stuff, but
yeah.
That was definitely the start of it,
Yeah, and then people would throw house parties around the area and in the P, and I would just be like, all right, I'll bring my turntables, carry all my equipment down, which was a bitch, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. The worst part was at the end of the night when you're all wasted, though, and you got to lug all that shit back up.
Yeah, or just leave it there.
Yeah, I've done that too.
A couple times. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I still continue to use Fruity Loops actually for programming my beats. But like the sounds and shit I get, I sample. I just miss the old days of sample music, so I go in and I try not to sample loops. I try to chop everything up, like each sound. Like I'll go into like a song that I find, and I'll chop it up like 20 to 40 different times, and then I'll just go in and start playing with the different sounds until I get something I like, and then lay a drum pattern behind it.
Yeah, I like those the newer beats with the different samples on it. I think that's a cool sound to hear that kind of stuff,
I've been Hatch contacted me because he's doing that movie, and he said the main character in the movie is into classical music. He's like, can you do some classical music? Which I've never done anything like that before. So I was like, all right. So I went in and sampled some Beethoven piano keys and just chopped each key up. And then I started tinkering with that. So I made a classical beat recently. I didn't use any drums or anything. I just stuck with piano keys.
Oh, sweet.
And then that kind of inspired me to like look for other samples. Like, so now I started looking for, like, the other night I pulled some Italian folk music, sampled from that. Today I looked for some Brazilian lounge music, sampled that. So I'm just trying to find some different shit.
And I think when you do that, though, it kind of sets you apart from other people. I mean, that's what's cool when you try to switch some stuff up and make it totally different.
So from there, I mean, me and you were already hanging out. Prior to, me getting the computer, buying the editing software and stuff to actually record music. I actually went out and bought Cakewalk Pro Audio 9, and that was like $400, but I was like, I want to start recording music, and this is what I need to do it.
Yeah.
And I had the turntables, I had the programs to make beats and stuff, so I was like, let's, gotta start somewhere. So I knew you were into writing and rapping, so I just started from there. And then I just remember doing parties and then taking my computer with me as well, so I'd always record like all the freestyles and just stuff we were doing.
Yeah, I think once you got that equipment and stuff, that's when I started getting serious about it, because I was like, okay, now we can really do something. I mean, instead of just freestyling, we can actually put something down. And so then I guess kind of what I did from there was start trying to recruit people and start recruiting some talent to, because I kept on thinking in my mind, okay, if it's just me and T, that'll be cool, but it'd be even sweeter if we could kind of, meet some new people that also do hip hop and get some other people part of it, so that's kind of where I came in on that part of it, was talking to different people and meeting different people. And
you were going to college at the time, so you had access to people from different environments. And who'd you meet? I mean,
I've never been the type of person that was scared to talk to anybody about that kind of stuff, so.
Who'd you meet first that was into it?
The first person that I met, it was funny because I didn't really even know that he was into it. I don't think he really was that much into it until he met me, but was Lamar. He goes by Hook D. We went to school together for culinary arts, and when I first met him, I don't know if he really was into hip hop that much. Like, sure, he freestyle once in a while and stuff like that, but we he always says, like, when he first met me, he didn't like me at all because at that time I had my pretty boy stage big time. I was like this skinny Italian kid trying to get girls, so I just looked like a dumbass douchebag and was always wearing flashy clothes and stuff. And and he didn't get me, and honestly, I probably didn't get him at the time. But we started talking one day, and he was telling me how, I think he told me he had we were talking about his car, and we ended up having the exact same car, just different colors. And we were both like, oh, that's kind of weird, and then, we both shared a fondness of Mary. So one day we went out to the car and hung out, on break or whatever. I think he might have had a beat on or something, or he was playing something. And I just came out and said, hey, you ever like freestyle or do anything like that? And he's like, yeah, once in a while. So we just started freestyling like all the time, and like every day in class I'd go out there and we'd start rapping together and stuff, and kind of just built a friendship surrounded a little bit around that, and cooking, obviously, because that's where we met. But yeah, we started kind of rapping together, and he was kind of blown away that I was this white kid that he thought when he first met me that I was just some pussy ass dude that, because the way I dressed at the time, he didn't realize that I actually, I could flow, and that I was a little bit different than some of the other white kids that he probably had met, So yeah, we just we kicked it, just had a good time, and really just like formed a bond, and in that, and started really kind of getting into hip hop. And I told him one day, I was like, really, you could record, man. You got a voice for it. It's kind of, you got a different kind of flow, So yeah, and then one day he was just kind of telling me about that he had friends that were rappers too that were really into it, and I was just like so excited to meet that person, because I was like, oh, I want to meet someone who's like, into it as much as I thought I was into it at the time. We hung out for a while, and then one day I was like, yeah, so are you gonna we ever gonna go over to that dude's house that you were telling me about that, like, makes beats and all that stuff? And he was like, yeah, we can go after school. And so we ended up going to this apartment complex. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous because I'd never been around his friends before, and I was kind of like, here comes me walking in, and hopefully these guys like me and whatnot. We walked inside, and I'll never forget walking into this apartment, and there was probably at least 7 or 8 people in there, and it was just a little ass 1 or 2 bedroom apartment, and there's just all these people in the living room, and I just remember thinking, like, what the hell's going on in here? Walked in, and I don't know if it was because of the smoke that made it like where, number one, I wasn't nervous anymore, but they accepted me, and we kind of just really formed a bond and like started hanging out. And then I started freestyling, and they started seeing that I could freestyle, and then we just kind of like kicked it. And then he introduced me to his boy Will, aka HP. And at that time, HP was making beats on like the PlayStation. And he was like, "Oh, you like to rap, And I was like, "Yeah, I love rap." And he's like, "Oh yeah, check these beats out." And he's playing all these beats, and he had like this little recorder that he was, like a cassette recorder or something. I forgot how it was actually set up, but
4-track or something.
yeah, I think it might have been a 4-track. And so he was like, showing me, and then he actually recorded something that we were freestyling, and I just remember being in the middle of this cipher, and I think I was beatboxing at that time actually, and so I was beatboxing for them, and they were like, "Oh damn," they were kind of feeling me from that, and then just throughout the time of hanging out with them, I'd started kind of transitioning more into the lyrics than anything, and then we just had our own beats, so I didn't really have to beatbox anymore, But yeah, so HP was a real big part of everything, and and then one day I just came up with this idea of a really more than a group, more of a I guess like a conglomerate, just of people. I just wanted to work with as many different kinds of people and different backgrounds, and I thought the name Lynx Connect was a good idea, because it was kind of, and the idea in my head was that you have different kinds of people and different kind of cultures coming together to make one kind of sound,
Yeah,
so
primarily Pinckney and West Willow.
Yeah, exactly, at that time, yeah. And and it was, I mean, you talk about a totally different style of, West Willow, they went through stuff that we can't even imagine growing up in West Willow,
Mm-hmm.
and we were in a small country town, obviously, and it was funny because we actually tried to merge those two at one point, and I remember Lamar and a couple of the other people that we worked with came out to a house that I was at in Brighton, and Lamar got pulled over on the way going out, and I just happened to be right behind him because I was following him to make sure that he found the expressway. And I'm sitting behind him watching this cop, and this cop gets out of the car and he's walking up and saying something to him. And I was just kind of like, what the hell is this guy doing, And all of a sudden Lamar just like sped off down the expressway and was gone. And I was kind of like, all right. So the next day I came to school, I think it was, or something. And I said, what the hell happened last night, man? He said, oh, the cop came up to the window and he said, we don't like your kind here, so get out of here.
Wow.
And I was just like, wow, it really, really opened my eyes to how bad it was where I was, not even thinking about that at that time.
And Brighton's not as like country like Pinckney, so you'd think there'd be a little more diversity there, or acceptance, I guess, at that time. And
yeah,
I mean, you're probably talking like 99?
Yeah, probably 99, 2000, around there.
Yeah.
Yep. It's sad. I mean,
It's disgusting.
So at that time I was like, wow, it kind of really opened my eyes to, and then he we ended up moving in together, actually, me and Lamar, and we lived with each other for about 3 years. And I tell you what, like, we lived together, I've never lived with someone where like we never had no beef, we never had no problems whatsoever. And I mean, we were very honest with each other, and he told me a lot of stuff about things that him and his family had gone through because of their race. And I was just like, wow, like, it was just mind blowing for me to hear that kind of stuff. Cause, at that time I'd never been through anything like that. I did go through a lot of that kind of stuff later on in life because, unfortunately I resemble other people, Arabic and other things like that. So at one point I had a big not long, but a beard or goatee, and I had really long hair, and I got racially profiled as a Arabic person when the September 11th thing had just happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I really I kind of knew what they were going through a little bit. I mean, not definitely didn't go through my whole life like that, but But you know, it's just it was hanging out with those guys and kind of hearing some of their stories, and then them hearing our stories. I think it kind of we first of all formed a friendship, but then we just all just every time we would do a song or whatever, we just kind of meshed really well together because it was something different. You know, it wasn't the same old shit that you hear on the radio or whatever. You know, so. So yeah, so that was kind of the start of it, and then Will brought his brother Jesse into the mix.
Sick Fed.
He went by Sick Fed, and he had a very distinctive voice, very deep, deep gangster voice basically, and it was funny because he was really into Brother Lynch Hung at the time.
Now you could totally. Get that from his lyrics. And
totally, yeah.
His gully.
yeah. So, but, even him, I mean, it was like when I first met Jesse, I was kind of like, I wonder what this dude's going to think of me. And we got along really good. I mean, we actually ended up working with each other years later, and I had some good conversations with him. And, but it was just cool because, we did some shows, we did some, little house party type things at that time, but we recorded a ton of stuff. I mean, a lot of it just ended up being freestyles, but I mean, there was a lot of things that we would try to put down. And I used to, like, every time Will would move, he'd move to a new house or whatever, I'd end up at his new house at some point, and we would, sit back and just rap. I mean, for hours. There was days where I'd be beatboxing for hours, or I'd be freestyling, and we just, freestyle to our face hurt, basically, type thing, So, yeah, that's kind of the start of the Lynx Connect and how we got going.
Where did well, they weren't really necessarily apart, but how did Conrad come into the picture?
Conrad is, I actually met Conrad at a hotel I was working at, and it was kind of funny because I was single at the time, and I was hanging out, and this Mexican girl named Julie came up to me, and she was super, super fine, and she was hitting on me, so I started hitting back, and I'm like, man, all right. And all of a sudden, like, we were kind of like digging each other, and next thing I know, this huge black dude comes walking into the place, and he comes walking up to me. He's like, "Are you Brian?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, man?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I heard you messing with my girl." And I was kind of like, what? I'm like, this dude is going to kill me. Like, that's what I was thinking at the time, And he was just real, I don't know, just like his voice and like something about him that I was like, where is this dude from, is what I was thinking in my mind at the time. And he scared the shit out of me. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was like, dude, this kid, he was big, and I'm thinking this dude's going to kill me. That's how pissed off he looked in his face. And I was like, dude, hey, man, I said, look, she came at me, and I'm not going to lie, I did bite, but, nothing happened, blah, blah. And he's like, man, I'm just fucking with you, man. Don't even worry about it. and so I was like, oh, that's not your girl? He goes, oh, no, that's my motherfucking girl. But don't even worry about it. So I was like, I was so confused. When I first met this dude, I'm like, all right. So our relationship started that way. And then every day he'd come in, and he actually worked for another part of the hotel. And I had a restaurant that I was running in there. And he would come in there every once in a while and have to set up a banquet or do something. And one day he came in, and I said, hey, Conrad, man, you ever rap at all? Just kind of seeing what he'd say. And he was like, yeah, man, I rap a little bit. I was like, really? I said, where are you from? He said, I'm from Bed-Stuy. I'm like, really? And I was just like thinking, man, I want to hear what this guy sounds like. I was really interested in hearing his voice, and because he had a very distinctive voice just talking, and he was super funny. This dude, like, he reminded me of a lot of New York rappers, like, that I had been watching for years. Like, that's what he reminded me of. I felt like I was sitting in New York talking to a rapper, and so he said, yeah, I got this demo tape that I did, and he's like, it's not real professional because I made it over different beats. Some of them are Wu-Tang, and I think there was a couple Biggie ones on there or something. But
Yeah, some Cool G
he
Rap and
said,
DJ Polo. And...
yeah, so he said, but I'll bring it in for you. He goes, it's on tape. I have one copy of the tape, and he's like, I'm scared that it's gonna break. If it breaks, I'm done. So I think I went to you and asked how we could figure out how to put it on CD.
Yeah, I backed it up on MP3.
Yeah, and I remember because I heard these lyrics and I was like, dude, like to this day, when I listen to the CD, I still feel like he is one of the lyricists that got forgotten.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like he could have been one of the top guys from New York if he would have done what he should have done with his skills. And when I heard the first time I heard it, I was just like, holy shit, like this guy is sick. And he was one of those people, like I was saying earlier, that he told me straight up, he was like, look, man, I can't freestyle. And that was how he respected me, was because when we would hang out, I'd freestyle, and a lot of times he would just spit the lyrics that he had written down that I'd already heard.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still cool for me to hear him doing it live right next to me, type of thing. But he always respected me because I would sit there and rap, and and we hung out a lot. And then like it was funny because one time I ended up he's like, come on over to my crib, let's go, come on over. And so I come over to his house, and he lives in this like pretty shady part of Ypsilanti. It's like it's basically the south side of Ypsilanti. And I drove Oldsmobile Aurora at the time, and it's a pretty flashy car. I had like silver tinted windows, and I had a refrigerator in the back and sounds and all kinds of shit. So I pull up into this neighborhood, and there's like a booth, a security booth or whatever you want to call it. Well, the guy wasn't in there, so I pull through, and I pull up and looking for this guy's place, and I get out of the car, and all of a sudden these two dudes step out the porch. They're like, oh, hell no, player, turn it around and get back in your motherfucking car. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm just like, excuse me? And they're like, you need to get back in your car and go back where you came from. And I said, look, man, I'm here to see my boy. And they're like, you ain't got no boy here, blah, blah, blah. And they're all talking this shit. And one dude starts coming towards me, all pissed off, like he's going to fight me or something. And here comes Conrad barreling out of the house. And Conrad was the type of person, he was not a small guy by any means. And he comes barreling out of the house, and he just fucking checked the shit out of these guys. And told them that I was his boy and all this stuff, So I go in the crib, and here's this Julie girl that, that had been hitting on me and all this stuff that, and he's got like, there's like 7 kids running around in the house. And I come in, and she walks up to me, and I was like, what's up, Julie? And she's like, hey, how's it going? She's like, I can't believe you and Conrad are such good friends now. I'm like, yeah. She's like, hey, I got to go upstairs. I got to take a mean shit right now. So I'll see you in a little bit. So after that kind of ruined the whole thing of me liking her anymore. But one thing that I'll never forget is when she came back downstairs, she's like, you guys want to smoke? I'm like, hell yeah, let's smoke. So they go over and they pull out this 2-liter bottle. And, obviously Notorious B.I.G. Biggie is from Bed-Stuy area and in the boroughs and stuff. So they really, Conrad told me that he was on the street when they brought the funeral procession down the street. So that's, he really kind of worshipped Biggie almost in a way. So they pull out this 2-liter bottle, and she goes, are you ready to smoke with Notorious? I'm like, what? And she turns it around, and there's a picture of Notorious B.I.G. It's like his whole face. And then there's a cutout where his mouth is with this thing coming out of it. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And he smokes it, and he starts coughing. He passes it to her, and they pass it to me, and I'm looking at this thing. These motherfuckers had a chicken bone as the part where you smoked out of it coming out the mouth. I was cracking up. It was like literally the mouthpiece was a chicken bone. So yeah. So we just got along really good, and I always wanted to like record new stuff with him. That's like what I wanted to do so badly. Like I really was trying to make that happen, and I promised him that I'd get him on stage somewhere. I told him that. I was like, dude, I'm going to get you on stage because you're the type of person that if you don't get someone to push you, you'll never do anything with this. And I feel like you should get your music out there. So we actually, at Metropolis in Brighton, Michigan, I knew the DJ and I asked him if there was any way that he could, get me and Conrad, which Conrad went by the name Combat as his rap name, to get up there and do a song. And he was, the dude that was DJing was kind of a wankster in a way, I guess. But he was like, yeah, man, I guess you guys could get up here and do a little rap. So I said, well, you got a beat or something, man? He's like, yeah, I think so. So he found an instrumental to Mace, to Bad, 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 Bad Boys.
Of course.
And so that was the instrumental, and me and Conrad got up there, and I freestyled. And it was pretty weird for me because I'm from that area, so it was kind of weird for me to get up in front. And the fact that I worked at this place for years, and here I am rapping in front of my boss and people that I know. And then Conrad rapped one of his verses over that song, and I just remember seeing how geeked he was afterwards, man. He was just so amped up and so excited, and he was like, kept on telling me thank you, and he was so happy that he got to do it, and then I still was like, man, we got to get something on wax, man. We got to get something on wax. And then just out of nowhere, man, just like he ended up, something happened where he had to move back to New York. And before I even got a chance to like get some contact information from him or something, he just bounced. That was the last time I ever saw him. I've looked him up a couple times trying to find him and never been able to track him down because I always wanted to tell him how much of an inspiration he was for me with a lot of music and a lot of stuff that I did. And he was kind of the inspiration for me to keep it moving and keep working on it, honestly, because I was just always like, man, this dude's music is just sick, and so. What's
his name? Conrad?
I don't know his last name. That's the problem.
Ooh.
Yeah. I can't remember it. I just remember his first name was Conrad, and that's pretty much all I remember about him. I never got his last name, so I probably knew it back then, but that was a long time ago. So
yeah, that was shortly after I got like the turntables and stuff. Was when you introduced me to him, and I got that tape from you, and was like, I remember just taking it around to different people in the P, and I'm like, you gotta check this guy out. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, I got these shitty beats, and you got this dude that's like a pro.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy to think that, though, as someone that was that good, that went unheard.
Yeah.
He told me straight out, I was like, how many people have heard this, man? He was like, not many, man. Probably just my close friends and family. And I was like, wow, dude, like, I'm just like, I was blown away by his lyrics. And, I always wish that I could find him again. Because, the other thing that I was always wondering, too, was back then, I was always wondering if he ever still had his CD that I gave him. Because I think I gave him one copy, and I don't know if he ever, if he still had a hold of it or whatever. But a funny little side story with him. When I was working at the hotel, there was a girl that worked in the front desk. Her name was Davina. And I used to just mac on Davina all day long. Like every day I'd go up to the front desk and, just talk to her. And she was this cute little black girl. And one day I was up there and I was talking to her and she's like, I heard you freestyle one day in the kitchen. And I was like, oh, really? She's like, yeah. She's like, I didn't know you rapped. And I was like, yeah, a little bit here and there. And she's like, well, you gotta come check out my boy sometime. I got this guy that I'm working with. And I was like, oh, okay, So one day me, her, and Conrad piled into, I think, my car. And at that time, my car was just always a fucking mess. And there's shit all in the back. And, and we climbed in my car in the parking lot of the hotel. And we listened to the CD by a dude named Beretta. And you probably heard of him. He's a Detroit rapper.
I've seen him live. He opened up for Esham.
Yeah, he's done some stuff. That was her really good friend. She actually was like trying to shop him around and get him signed and stuff. And so we were listening to this song or listening to this tape that she had or whatever, CD or whatever it was. And Conrad was kind of like, yeah, it's all right or whatever. And she was like, yeah, and I got this other dude that I went to high school with. He thinks he's hot shit, but I don't know if he's ever going to amount to anything. And she threw in Eminem, and it was the part of Infinite.
Yeah.
And it was, and I didn't know anything about Eminem. I'd never even heard of him before. And I listened to it, and I was kind of like, wow, this dude's all right, but, hopefully you can make it as an artist at that time. And, I think it was like the next year, My Name Is came out and he blew up, but yeah, it was just funny because I just remember like Conrad sitting there listening to Eminem thinking like, and he was like, yeah, this shit's all right, man, but I don't think it's going to, not going to get big or anything,
Yeah.
But yeah, he was definitely a big influence on the Lynx Connect, and I was always trying to get him to record new stuff, and I was really bummed out that we never got the opportunity to do that with him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
for sure. What about Cypher Don? How did he come into the picture?
Cypher Don. Cypher Don's name was Patrick. Actually, me and Lamar both met him. He was a what do you call it? Like a busser, I guess you'd call it, at Zydeco's. And I don't know, when I first saw him, I was just thinking in my mind, this dude's got to rap. That's the first thing I thought. Like, he had dreads. He, like, reminded me of a backpack type rapper, that I'd seen on tons of different things. And I was just like, man, I bet you this dude raps, So one day I just kind of started talking to him, and I told him that I was rapping and that I was trying to, record a CD and whatnot. And he was like, oh man, you should hang out sometime. So he had a apartment in downtown Ypsilanti. It was like right above, I can't remember what store it was. I think it was the Rocket. He had this like apartment right above it. And, so he had me come over there and we hung out and smoked and whatnot. And he drops a CD in for me of his stuff. And I swear to God, when I first listened to it, I thought he was playing me someone else's stuff, because I was like, this shit is fucking bananas. Like, I couldn't believe how good it was. Not that I didn't think he could rap, but
yeah,
it didn't sound like him, to me. Like, when I was like hearing him talk at first, and then while the CD was playing, he started rapping the lyrics, and obviously it was him, and I was like, holy shit, and his CD was just sick. And so we started hanging out quite a bit, actually, and same thing, we freestyle all day long, just, all the time. Every time I hung out with him, we were freestyling, me, Lamar, and him, and we, we hung out quite a bit. And then it was the same thing with him, man. His went real short. Like, he was working at Zydeco's with us, and then all of a sudden he had a daughter come on the way, and he was trying to save up some money or whatever for her, and he decided to make a bad mistake and go out and try to sell some stuff, some illegal stuff, and he got caught. And it was not good stuff to get caught with. Yeah. And when he got busted, they had to extradite him somewhere. I think it was down like Florida, Miami, somewhere. And I remember he had gotten like all his CDs stolen, and he had like this huge collection. And he was like really pissed off that he lost all his music and stuff. And he was getting ready to get extradited, and he was trying to save up some money to give to his daughter. I think she might have just gotten born or something. He was trying to come up with some money for that, and he was trying to sell his CDs. That was like his thing that he was going to do, and someone stole them all. So me and Lamar actually started like a fund around work, and I think we did pretty good. We raised quite a bit of money for him, and then he was gone. That was the last time I ever saw him. He literally, packed up his stuff and had to get extradited. And I think he served some time. I'm not sure how long he was in for, but he definitely never came back to the area that we were in, into Ann Arbor or anything like that. But
Where
I
was
always
he?
thought I was going to see him.
You always thought you were going to see
was
him
that?
where?
I always thought I was going to see him at like a hip hop show or something. You know, like
Yeah.
every time I went to like some show in Detroit or something, I was always thinking that maybe I'd run into him, but I never did.
Where was he originally from?
He was from Jamaican Queens. That's where he was Haitian, and he was from Queens. I don't know if he was actually born in Queens or if he was born in Haiti, or I'm not sure about that, but yeah, he was from Queens, and then I think he moved to like Florida to like Miami, and then somehow he got to Ann Arbor. Maybe I don't know if he went to school there or not, but when I met him, you know, he was expecting a kid and all this stuff, and he was like really into music, man. I mean, like when I heard his CD, I was like, dude, you gotta, you know, this shit is sick. And he was like, yeah, I'm doing this and that. And he had all these plans that he was trying to do. And he was kind of the same thing like Conrad. You know, I really wanted to get in the studio with him too. And we kept on talking about it, and just it never materialized. And then all of a sudden he was gone, and then same thing.
I've got one song where he freestyled over where I brought my equipment over to your place and recorded something over one of my beats, but it was just a freestyle session. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't even think I've ever heard that.
Really?
Yeah,
it's like him. Stefan's on the song. I think he's on that one. It was the same night we were all just like hanging out.
Yeah, you're gonna have to throw that on this mix for sure.
I'm definitely gonna throw some Combat and Cypher down at the end of this podcast.
Yeah, they were definitely big parts of the inspiration of, you know, the whole Lynx Connect. I think they never actually became full members of the group or anything, but they were definitely they definitely kept me on the path. You know, definitely inspired me in a big way.
Yeah, and guys that really had material that just sounded professional and.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, when I first heard their stuff, I was like, wow, man, we need to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah. Cypher I'd like to know more about his production, too, like the beats that were on there, because it was solid.
Yeah. I've looked him up a lot and tried to, same thing, I don't know his last name, which sucks, but I've looked up the name Cypher Don a million times and never really found anything on him.
Yeah, I was just Googling him, trying to think nothing.
Yeah, and I do know that he used to hang with One Man Army a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I do know that because he used to be at the shows with the Blind Pig with him a lot, and he did a bunch of shows there with them, and he did work with the Olympics a couple times. I know that for sure. But other than that, you know, that's pretty much all I know about him. But yeah, he was a cool guy, man. We had some good times with him. Me and Lamar really liked him and really got along with him and stuff, and I think he had respect for us in the game too, and he just liked freestyling with us. We would just all sit around and rap together, and you know, it's funny because a lot of people that I met in hip hop I met through Mary and then we became friends, and then kind of it led to freestyles and whatnot, but those two guys definitely were a big part of it, you know, for sure. So yeah, so then so after that, I think I shortly after that I moved, and because we were living together and we were still doing some stuff, but I don't know if were we recording when we were in Arbor Point.
So you guys lived in Wood Creek, and then I moved out to Arbor Point, and that's when we kind of started doing like We Ride, and Will was really kind of putting a project together. And you guys were over there more than I was, but I would pop in frequently here and there, or occasionally here and there, and then I rapped on like one track for that one album, and then provided the beat for We Ride. But you guys did a majority of the stuff, and then Will always had just a slew of people coming in and out of his place. So,
yeah, all day.
Yeah, so it's just like basically it was like whoever was there, hey, you want to get on the track?
Yeah, it's funny because the one dude, how was his name? Steve? He's the one that went down for murder. He's on one of those tracks with us. Yeah, that was crazy, but yeah, he did. I mean, he always had people in and out of his house, rapping and stuff, and jumping on songs and stuff. And some of them I'd never see again. It'd be funny. They come in and do a verse, and then it was like they'd be gone. Never see them again.
So that project was really kind of around the time of like when we started living together, me, you, and Lamar. But that was when I was getting in my relationship, so I really wasn't around too much. You guys are doing a lot more musically than I was. I mean, I was still making beats here and there, but nothing too much music-wise. And then we all kind of, after we moved out of there, really went our separate ways for the most part. I mean, we still stayed in touch and whatnot, but I think life just kind of started beginning for all of us. Mm-hmm. I moved in with you for a little bit there, a few months. It's funny, like all these times you think we would have done stuff when we were all living together, and like at least I wasn't doing much. And then when we lived together, we didn't do too much musically there. There was a lot of video games. I was still playing. I
remember if I had my did I have my studio yet?
No, it was still like the TV room.
Yeah.
So a lot of video games. Counter-Strike had just come out on Xbox, and I was still making beats here and there though.
Yeah, I think that was kind of a time when, I mean, I remember I used to go over Will's still, like, all the time.
Yeah.
And do stuff over there, but I do think that it was a time where we kind of almost went on a hiatus from music for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And, just kind of took a break for a minute.
Yeah. Then I got a maintenance supervisor position, and you needed a roommate. Mm-hmm. So that's when you met Rodney.
Yep.
I don't know if it's when you met Rodney, but that's when...
Basically, I mean, honestly, yeah. Me and Rodney did not know each other very well. I mean, he was working at Glacier Hills, and actually the first time I ever met him was kind of a funny story. I was dating this girl named Kelly, and we went to this party, and I come to the party, and I walk around the back, and I didn't want to be there anyway. I don't know why. I just didn't want to go to this party. I wanted to just hang out at the house or whatever, and I come around the back to this house or whatever, and I walk up, and there's this dude like stripping for these girls in the place, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And I just remember thinking like, oh my God, are you kidding me right now? And he's all like, dirty dancing and doing all these tricks and stuff. And I'm like, okay, who hired the stripper, And then we went inside and stuff, and ended up hanging out for a while or whatever. And right before we were leaving, we were driving out, and there was some drama going on in the parking lot, and I looked out the window, and I saw this dude turn around and blast this car with his fist and put like the biggest dent I had ever seen something, look like a freaking superhero had punched it. And I just remember thinking, I'm going to be friends with that guy. Like, that guy seems like that's someone I want to be on his good side.
Yes.
And so I went, I went to work the next day, and I was talking to him about it. I'm like, dude, I totally watched you like blow this car door out with your fist. And he's like, yeah, blah, 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 and we were talking, and I was like, I kind of in a bad place right now because I need to find a roommate like really quick because I can't afford the rent on my place. And he's like, I'll move in with you. And I didn't even know him. Like, I honestly didn't know him at all really at that point. And I was kind of like, all right, I was kind of like just needed a roommate, didn't really care type of thing. And then we started talking about music a little bit after that. I was like, yeah, I got this little studio that I'm starting up, do you do music at all? He's like, yeah, he's like, I sing. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, because at the time I was thinking, man, it'd be cool if we could find like a Nate Dogg, someone that could sing for the hooks and stuff is what I was thinking at the time when I first met him. He ended up, moving in or whatever pretty quickly. I mean, it was like within a week he was already, in our house or whatever, or in my house. And he moved in, and, we go in the studio and we sit there and kind of getting to know each other and whatnot. And we started, I started freestyling and stuff. And I think he kind of you know, probably was checking out what I was doing or whatever, and then he started singing, and I was like, you know, what do you go by? Like, what's your name or whatever? He's like, yeah, I go by the name Rated R. And I was like, what are you, a stripper? And he was like, no, man, you know, that's what the ladies like and blah, blah, blah. You know, he's telling me all this stuff about that. I was like, dude, I said, you know, you should try rapping, man. You know, why don't you like rap and sing? That'd be sweet if you did like both of them, you know? I mean, not a lot of people can do that. And he was kind of like, oh, yeah, I mean, I rap a little bit. And so we started just kind of like from there on, started recording the shit out of some music together. And then I was like, dude, you need to change your name though. Like, that just doesn't sound right. And I was like, wait, what's your initials again? He was like, RB. I was like, why don't you go by the name R&B? I mean, you know, you do hip hop and you sing. I'm like, that's a perfect name for you. And he was like, yeah, sweet. You know, so it just kind of stuck for him. And then we just started like really hitting it hard, man. We were recording all the time. Like, I think I probably got a good, at least 60 songs that we did together.
Wow.
And then stuff that he did by himself. And some of it's not very good, but there's stuff like, we did a song called Insane that I really like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when I was banging out beats too, like started really getting back into it. And
yeah, and that was always good because you would give me, you know, you would give me a beat and then I'd bring it to him. And I was trying to dabble in beats myself a little bit, and Rodney was trying to do some stuff, and we would sit there and just mess around. And I started seeing that he had really good writing skills because he would come up with these great hooks.
Yeah.
And, you know, then I would come up with a couple of them. And so we were kind of sharing in that thing. And then, you know, I used to dabble in singing a little bit. So a lot of times when he would sing, I could kind of harmonize with him a little bit. So we would try to harmonize with each other on some songs. And, yeah. And so we kind of like really kind of just hit it off. You know, we really complimented each other. And then we started doing shows and you know, and then we found out that we had a mutual friend in HP and with Lamar, and at that time I hadn't seen Lamar in probably a good 2 years at that point.
Yeah, he was out of the game at this point.
Yeah, he went MIA. And so when I was talking to Rodney and telling him, you know, he was like, yeah, I'm from West Will. I'm like, oh, you're from West Will? And I'm naming all these people. I'm like, you know, D, you know, Tyrese, you know, all these different people. And he's like, you know, Ree, you know, I'm like, yeah, I know Ree. And, you know, and I'm like, you know, Lamar? And he's like, I think I know Lamar. Is he like that skinny dude? I'm like, yeah, that's Lamar, you know? So we ended up, really hitting it off. And then we started doing shows, and then I was like, yeah, you know, my boy HP. And he's like, I think I know him, you know. So they ended up knowing each other. So we started doing shows together. And they were just little venues, little small places. But it was fun, you know. It was cool to kind of get, you know, get some exposure and do some things. And there was a point where we were putting out, we had a little kind of a side group called Up North Boys. And we were putting out some good stuff. We had this song called How Dem and Holla at Your Boy. And I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. We had a couple, like this one dance track that we did that Rodney sang on. And it's funny because that song, it's probably our like least, well, actually, no, I can't take that back because we actually got the song played in a couple clubs. But when we recorded the song, it was like the only song that I could play for like my mom and dad. and I remember my mom and dad listening to the song and my mom was like all dancing in the living room, all excited about it, you know. And it ended up like I played it for a lot of people, but you know, it was just one of those like dance tracks or whatever. And we try to do a lot of that kind of stuff because back then it was all about, you know, trying to make the girls dance and have a good time type thing. But then we did a lot of hard stuff too. You know, we had some harder songs that were you know, pretty good. We had a song called Tough Talk that I think was pretty good. And I don't know, we just and then we had this one track that we did that you came up with a beat for, Do You Want to Ride?
Yeah.
And it was funny, like it was just one of those songs that just came very naturally for both of us. And then every time we performed that, man, I swear, like we did one show at the Wooden Nickel, and people were just going bananas there for that track. So we were just kind of like, man, this is sweet, you know. But we just we never pushed forward from that point. Like we did, you know, a couple of these good songs, and we were looking like things were going to go real good, and then we kind of just, you know, life happened, and I started having kids, and you know. You started having kids, and you know, we all started doing different things, and then everybody kind of took a break besides Will for a minute there, and then all of a sudden Rodney started really hitting it hard, and you know, obviously his whole story with going to LA and whatnot, and you know, he's got a couple CDs out that are bangers and really good songs, and HP has been, I think he's probably got 30 or 40 CDs out by now, you know.
Yeah, he hasn't stopped, man. He's always been grinding away, really.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, it's funny too, because you think about someone like Will. If you listen to his music, I mean, I love his new CD. I listen to it, you know, all the time in my car, and you really can hear the difference. And I remember he came out with this, and I know Bleach was the one who produced it, but I can't remember the name of the CD that he had at the time, but
something time.
He had like, it was, yeah, it might have been, he had a song about like his mom, you know, passing away, and he had like all this other stuff that was just really like, really good music, man. And I just remember thinking, man, like Will is like taking off. And then Will's the type of person, you know, he'll start working with some younger cats to try to help them out. And then he kind of would like go a different route for a while, and then all of a sudden we'd find ourselves back to each other again, and we'd all start recording again, and then we kind of all go our way, and then but he would just always keep on going that whole time, you know, and continue to rock it out. So I mean, that was pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, we've been in talks over the past for some time, like doing another album together, but nothing's panned out. There was actually a point, it was like 2011 or something, everybody said they were on board. Nobody did anything. And then I actually just started writing for my own shit and just came up with my own album that nobody's really heard. But I got like 19 tracks or something for that done. But I didn't have like a studio set up like you had, so it was just like I used like that Rock Band microphone. Like the quality's not there, but since then I've still been personally, I still keep banging out beats. I may like go like a couple months or something without making one, but every year I've got quite a few in the bucket. Like this past month I've been making a ton.
Yeah, that's when those new ones are sweet, man. I like those beats.
Tyree, I've got this freestyle with the Him and You from, I think it's from like a party we did at Will's. That's fucking hysterical. That I'm gonna throw at the end of this. But he was sweet, man.
Yeah, he was actually pretty good.
He was good at freestyling, and he was just funny as hell. And like, I think what was so great about like everybody that kind of came around like Will's place was like everybody just had like a great sense of humor and would just talk about the nastiest shit.
Yeah, he was.
I always got a kick out.
He was definitely the one that would throw the craziest stuff into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a good guy, man. We hung out quite a bit actually, but yeah, and then from there, like it was like, you know, we were recording all this stuff, and I started messing with this dude. He went by the name of Nice, and he just was not nice. He wasn't good at all. And Rodney absolutely hated him. Rodney couldn't stand the dude, and I was trying to give him a shot. Like he really wanted to be a rapper and was trying to do all this stuff, and I was just like, dude, you know, you gotta get on Rodney's good side, because Rodney's my boy, and I'm trying to keep him happy. You know, like we're working together and whatnot, and he just I don't know, like he just let the whole thing go to his head, and he was like, we did a show one time, and these people let us, you know, do a show or whatever, and we were only doing like 4 songs, and he got all pissed off when we only did 4 songs, was screaming and shit, and he, you know, he wasn't bad. Like the couple songs that we did together, I thought they were pretty good, but he just kind of was just letting it get to his head too much, so we dropped his ass, and then it was funny because I was working at Glacier Hills, and they had these dudes coming in and working there. You know, some of them were from like work release programs, and then some of them are just like straight gangsters that were coming and working there. And I'm the type of person that, I'm sorry, I don't care where you're from. I'll come and talk to you. You know, you don't intimidate me or whatever. And I saw this dude standing there, and he just looked like very, his demeanor just looked crazy to me. So one day I just walked up to him, we started talking or whatever, and he was just this cool dude. You know, he's really funny and stuff. And same thing. He rapped and stuff, and he was from Flint, and we talked for a while. And I was like, man, you should come over sometime. You know, my boy makes beats, and come over and we'll record some stuff. And he was like all excited because he hadn't recorded in a while, and so he came by the crib, and he actually came by quite a bit. And it was funny because this was a point where, I mean, my booth was a closet, so I mean, it wasn't like, you know, the most glamorous thing in the world, but I did have the soundproofing up, and I was trying to do some big things, you know, and and he came over, and we started recording his album, and he went by the name Sonny Mafioso, and I think he put some sweet ass tracks down on some of your beats that you made.
Yeah.
And he really, like, when he was rapping, he had these really clear ideas. Like he would write some, or he would come up with an idea, and he would sit down and go, okay, show me your beats. And I'd start going through all these different beats that we had. And then he'd go, wait, go back to that. And I'd give him a beat, and he'd be like, all right, this is the one I'm doing for this song. Like he knew which song or which beat he wanted for each song. And then, so we just started recording, and like, you know, Rodney would come in and he'd record on some of them. And I don't know how many we got done with him, but we did probably at least 6 or 7 tracks at least. And some of them came out really good. And then I was trying to figure out like where he had gone or whatever. And one day I was just like sitting there looking and trying to find him. And I found that I was typing in Flint, you know, all these different things. And I found a video. He went by the name Big Flint. Mm-hmm. And I found a video of him rapping. It was actually a pretty decent song. And it was just that one song, you know, and I used to run into, his name's Sean Ray. I used to run into him all the time, like just random spots. And I haven't seen him in years now, but he's one of those guys too, man. Like his flow was really sick, and he was a good writer and stuff. And I think he just didn't follow the right path in hip hop, you know, to get noticed or what. But man, he was definitely a beast. And there was days where, I mean, this dude was not a skinny guy by any means. He'd be in that booth, and I didn't have air conditioning for a little bit. So he'd be in that booth just sweating up a storm, man, just in there, you know, like breathing like Darth Vader.
Putting in work.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what's funny about him is, so for a while there too, back in the MySpace days, I would find some local artists or a couple people that were like lesser known that I enjoyed, and there was somebody out of Ann Arbor, Coupe DeVille, who rapped, and me and him became acquainted through MySpace. I'd send him some beats, he'd rhyme over them, he'd send me some work back, and I remember one day he posted a video, and it happened to be that Big Flint video.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so apparently they knew each other too. So
no way. That's
our little circle.
You did. You worked with. I know you did a beat for a dude. Was it Sir J. Wellington?
Yeah, I did a couple tracks with him.
Yeah, that was pretty good stuff too. I mean, even though it was kind of, you know, silly with the way he was rapping or whatever, but he actually had some pretty decent skills.
No, he did. It was unique too. Like nobody ever, you know, he's like rapping like a sire, like a, you know, somebody that's, you know, like a Prince or something. And
yeah,
it was just an interesting take. You know, nobody else had really done something like that. He was out of Philadelphia, so I enjoyed like the stuff that he had done. But most of this work that he had put out was over other artists' beats. He didn't really have anything original. So I contacted him, was like, hey man, I got some beats, check them out. If there's anything you want, let me know, and I'd like to do something with you. He did, what the hell was his big song? Oh, it was over that Rick Ross beat, Every Day I'm Hustling, but he was like, I hail from West London, I hail from West London.
Does he still do stuff, or?
No, I'm actually Facebook friends with the actual person. Colin, still to this day. But I've hit him up a few times. He's not on there too often because I was just curious if he wanted to do if he was still into that, see if he wanted to do something else. But haven't heard anything back. So
Yeah, he had some skills though. I mean, his stuff was pretty sweet. And that I remember that one you did one beat for him that was sick. It was like I don't remember how it went, but I remember like hearing it, being like, "Damn, I was kind of jealous because I wanted to jump on it." But he killed it.
Yeah.
But I remember me and you did that song. What was that track that you did? Was it Real Women?
Yeah.
And you had me jump on. You originally you did a 3-verse, and then you had me jump on and do the last verse or whatever. I love that song to this day. That's a good song.
Yeah.
Good track.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those ones that I like to hear every once in a while. But it's funny. Like we did some tracks that I think if we would have had a better studio, the ideas for them, like we had the song "Welcome Home" about Michigan. Like back, it wasn't the best lyrics, but the whole chorus and stuff was kind of cool. And but unfortunately at that time the quality wasn't the best, for what we were doing. But
yeah, but I mean it was.
But it's still pretty decent.
Yeah. Growing and learning, and if you could only afford what you can afford too, it's not like you're making money off the shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean we were, recording on I don't remember what kind of computer I had, but I don't think mine was very good. But
no, I think you're using a Dell laptop. But I was still slowly buying stuff. Like I bought a better mixer so you have more mic inputs and stuff like that. So and you went out and purchased. I don't know if it was you or Rodney that bought like a better condenser mic that we could use. And
yeah, Rodney went out and dropped like a bunch of money on a condenser mic so that way we could
and then a preamp.
Do some more stuff there and. That mic actually ended up over at Will's crib, and then Rodney and Will started doing stuff together, and recorded a bunch of stuff that was really good music, and so that was kind of cool. I mean, it was after I took a backseat to stuff, which was hard for me, but it was like the whole having a kid and all that kind of stuff. It's like it kind of definitely derailed my hip hop time at that time, but actually I think the last track that I recorded, I went over to Will's house one day just to say hi, I was just stopping by or whatever, and I walked in and there was these young knucklehead kids in there hanging out. I mean, I say kids because they were probably at least 10 years younger than me, but I walked in and they were all getting ready to record some song, and it was called In My Hood, and they were getting ready to record it, and Will's like, "You want to jump on this?" I'm like, yeah, why not? So I sat down and he gave me a pad of paper and I wrote this quick verse or whatever. And I was like, man, I had something to do. I had to get out and go, So he was like, all right. He's like, just go ahead and go in the booth or whatever. And I went in the booth and I walked in and Will says to his friends, he's like, yeah, he'll go in and he'll spit it one time and he'll be done. It's like, that's what you call professional. And I went in there and I was thinking in my mind, God, I hope I don't fuck this up. Someone look really stupid when you said that, But I went in there and I spit my verse real fast and was done with it. And I came out, it's always nerve wracking when you spit a verse in front of people you don't know.
Yeah.
Cause you come out of the booth and you're thinking, God, I hope they're not going to look at me and be like, wow, that was whack, So I came out and they were all like, damn, all right, man. And then I left, and then I hadn't heard the song or anything for a super long time, and then he actually finally gave it to me, and I was really happy with how it came out and how my verse came out, But and with music and just inspiration in general, man, obviously the Dr. Dre track or the album that he just came out definitely really, really gave me inspiration, and I've been writing like crazy now.
Nice.
I really want to get back into it, so that's something that I'm happy with this, with this podcast. And I never got into it in the first place to do anything make money off of it. I always did it just because I've always been a huge fan and I love hip hop, and I always wanted to be part of it. And I got lucky enough to meet you, and me and you kind of just always had a love for hip hop, and we meshed really well as friends, and then started doing music together, and then kind of went down a path that I weird path that I followed to meeting all these different people, and and got a good chance to freestyle and rap and write and do all kinds of different stuff for people, and it's always a cool feeling to look back and think about stuff like this, and it's good to be able to put this stuff on on a recording for maybe my seeds be able to hear it someday, and they can hear where their dad went through and what you went through and whatnot, and the Lynx Connect are still alive. It's not like we're done or by any means. I mean, we're still young enough to do it. So I mean, I think in the future we'll definitely do some more tracks, and R&B's talking about doing a Lynx Connect song on his Bipolar 2 album. So we're probably going to try to do something like that. And, I think there's a lot. I keep on thinking I wish there was a way that we could put all of the old stuff on some kind of format for people to take for free. That's, Reverb. I know Reverb Nation, you can do it, which I think I tried at one point, but I'm just not real good at that kind of stuff. But yeah, I wish there was a way that we could kind of, I think there's a lot of music that never got listened to from people that's actually really worth it. It's good stuff that, and it's funny stuff. I mean, there's one day I was looking because I have all the tracks on my hard drive still, and one day I was just looking around on the hard drive and I found a bunch of the ad libs, like the MP3 ad libs that were on there.
Yeah, it's just the vocals.
Oh my god, they're hilarious.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's just vocals and it's people in the booth and stuff like, man, it's hot as fuck in here, man. Shit like that. I was cracking up like, damn, this stuff is great.
Yeah, I used to back that stuff up, and then one song would take up like 6 gigabytes, and this is back before started having terabyte hard drives and shit, so it would just eat up so much space so fast. So I usually deleted.
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah. Yeah, I was surprised I still had all that stuff. But,
it's funny.
I mean, I just kind of, after I dismantled my studio and I took most of the stuff over to Will and gave them to him, and that room became a baby's room. So yeah, that was kind of the changing of the guard at that time for me. I was like, all right, gotta use this room for a baby. So took down the soundproofing and started painting the walls and all that kind of stuff. But it's just, hip hop is one of those things that never dies in you. If you love it, I mean, I'm the type of person that ever since I started loving hip hop, I've always wanted to learn more about it and wanted to hear more about it. And like I said, and when I'm in the car every day, I'm always freestyling. I actually have a old beat CD that you gave me a long time ago, and things like barely playing. It's all worn out and stuff, but every once in a while I'll take it and pop it in my car and just rock out to some old beats and start freestyling and stuff. And it's funny because there'll be beats that'll come about that I remember back 10 years ago or whatever it was. I'll hear a track that I actually had an idea for to record, and I just never did. I never wrote the whole thing down, but I'll still go back to that and start doing that song or whatever, and I'm like, damn, man, I can't believe I can still remember that kind of stuff.
It's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely a good part of my life for sure, and I know you probably feel the same way. We both definitely seen some cool stuff and seen some really good lyricists do their thing for sure.
Yeah, no, it's for me, it's the same thing. It's all out of love. It's never. Believe me, I would love to make money off this and not have to have a normal 9-to-5 daily grind. Oh,
that'd be great.
But yeah, probably not in my cards. But so even still, to this day, I still just make beats and keep putting in work in that fact just because I love it. It's something I enjoy. It's a hobby of mine, and I love the hip-hop culture. I keep up on new artists. There's a lot of stuff I don't really care for, but there's tons of new artists I still dig and get into and follow and keep my ear to the street.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. There's, it's continuous stuff coming out, and, like I said, it's nice to be able to hear good production and good music. I mean, it's cool to see that the old cats are doing it, but it's really cool to see that that some of the younger guys are starting to understand that you can't go weak anymore. You got to come back with the hard stuff, because that stuff is going to be making a big surge in back now. It's not going to be the weak stuff anymore. A lot of the MCs are coming hard now, and
Yeah.
I think a lot of the younger cats now are starting to see, okay, this is what real hip hop is, you know. So
I
it's
hope
cool.
so.
I mean, yeah, me too. Definitely tired of hearing the bullshit.
Yeah. I'm just sad with the whole. I mean, I get like how we've gotten away from sample production. You know, I get it. Like, it costs money. You know, the people that you're sampling from deserve their due. But you know, ever since I think De La Soul was like one of the first groups to ever get sued for sampling, back around like '90 or something like that, and you can tell production took a hit shortly thereafter, with record labels and artists just getting sued left and right for sampling. But it was just, you know, that's such a huge element to hip hop. You know, it's where it started.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But
I mean, that's.
But I'm starting to hear a lot of newer producers like Apollo Brown. Kind of reminds me of like a younger DJ Premier coming back with that sample style production.
Yeah, that's why after I was watching that stuff on YouTube with the God, what's it called? Beat Roulette or
Rhythm Roulette, yeah.
Yeah, Rhythm Roulette. When I saw that, I was like, damn, see, there still are people out there that really care about the craft and that, you know, understand they got to keep it true to a little bit, you know, so
that's cool what I still do. That's what I still do when I do my production, is pull samples from records. I mean, like I said, I chop it to death, so it doesn't even sound remotely close like what I'm grabbing it from, and just chop up like single sounds.
Oh yeah, that's the way it should be. I mean, you definitely, you know, you've been making beats. I mean, you can't imagine how many beats you have now. You know, I remember even Will. I mean, Will used to make. God, he made so many beats, and he's got so many songs that I know we recorded that I haven't heard in years. But they're like on hard drives upon hard drives upon hard drives on different computers and stuff. But I wish we would have recorded some of that stuff off to the side, you know, when it was back then, so we wouldn't have lost it. But yeah, I've
got a folder with as far as like actual produced songs that we've done as a collective. 233 files, 1.2 gigabytes, or 1.22 gigabytes worth of MP3s.
Wow.
Yeah, that includes like Rodney's new stuff and Will's newer stuff and some of his solo albums, but a lot of that's just like some of our freestyle sessions and just stuff that we've done.
So you probably got stuff that I don't even have anymore, honestly. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I lost or that I just don't have on, you know, any kind of recording anymore.
No, I got quite a bit. But yeah, I'm down to do some stuff moving forward, so.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've been writing pretty good, man. I've been excited to get back into it. I've been actually using my phone and using the memo thing on my phone. I've been writing a lot on there, so I'm actually been listening to your beats a lot, the newer ones. So.
Nice. I just put a couple more up today, so.
Oh, yeah.
Sergey Wellington, Going Off. That was probably the song you were thinking of.
Yeah, that was a good track.
Welly's going off. Welly's going off.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's all we got for today, right?
Yeah. So that is it for this episode of Our Take on the Breaks. You can check us out on bhbooks.com, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, and our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Our Take on the Breaks, where we host our episodes and hold various discussions about hip-hop. And we've recently added a Twitter account. Yes, until next week.
Thanks for listening.
And, you know, I just got off work. Calling my dogs to do some shit, man. It's Friday night, you know what I'm saying? And
time to do this.
Club be popping tonight. Just wanna go to the club. Just wanna go to the club. Hey baby, show me some love. Just wanna go to the club. Just wanna go to the club. Hey baby, come in, just show me some love.
Show me some love. Let me grip tight on them hips. Yeah, I'm ready to wax that, and I wanna sip on this drink, and I'm ready to wax that on your girl too. What you think? I'm ready to put two in. I got to show some love over there. You You over there with the braids in your hair. Don't stop, look and stare, cause you better be aware. But I don't wanna put it on like that, cause you gon' have to pass my questions, my answers, my successions, my needs. And I got to smoke a fat bag of weed before I do the do, before we do that dance, before I make you do that do when you take off your pants.
And then I make all the girls dance. Ready to see him and I'm about to advance. Me and T-Vance, we roll in the club and it's scan. Hey baby, how you doing? Give me a drink cause I'm banned. Just smoked another blunt and I'll be showing some love. Looking above and I know that it's low like a drug. Got a fiend for a motherfucking girl sometimes. I don't give a fuck because I'm up in the car and ready to rhyme. And we go into this club, I heard that it might be tight. But hey, how you doing? I look inside and everyone's white. Everybody's popping a Perry Como or some stupid shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on and everybody's a dick. Fucking sausage factory be popping off. I don't give a fuck, you know. Off. We need to go to a titty bar and have some real good fun. That's the motherfucking club. You heard?
Where them hoes that give you what you want, suck up on your nuts, and really don't even give a fuck, cause they sluts, working around that pole. I said these hoes getting paid for showing they asshole, you know, it's swole and it's looking kinda fat, so she got me on the table, sipping on that yak, I want that, I got to get it, so I flee.
The hoes fuck with me. That's when I tipped about 3. Hell no, I took 2 away because that bitch wasn't even a G. Trying to dance on a pole. Oh no, hoes can't go up here cause hoes gon' be exposed. Hoes on the flow like Ludacris once said. See hoes on the flow and hoes giving some head. About $2. What's that place called? Called the Trap. Cause that's where hoes get stuck at. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it looks like another bus though. I said I see nothing around here but motherfucking slut hoes and coming nigga by the motherfucking dozen. I said so I call up Will and his cousins. I call up B, I call up L, I call up D. I said I got these hoes in the fucking factory. They working it, twerking it like it should be done. I said these hoes, they gon' fucking till we all come up in they mouth, up in they motherfucking breasts. Don't give a fuck. I skeeted all up in their chest, all in their ass too. I don't give a fuck. Cause it's through. Hoes, you know how we motherfucking
what
do.
The fuck did you do? What the fuck did you do with that girl? Cause she know she need to get a clue. Got runny boobs. Yo, I think her name was Jewel. She tried to do that shit, but baby, you just need to lose. Saw that, ooh, it's called the mouth. Trying to get down, but you can't do it in this house. Got the DJ trying to pop a fat song, but all you see is me trying to pat my fat thong up in your butt. I remember Stephen at a place trying to rap in this club. What was that place? I don't know, but he was showing some love to every girl's by the names in the middle, playing monkey in the middle with the girl with the riddle. She was like, hey baby, what's your name? He's like, I'm Kenny, oh motherfucker, I'm about to do this shit and you're looking so good and sane. So he took her back to the house and he said, I want your mouth. And that's when the clock came down. You know, it was ticking time for the death, cause that girl had so many diseases, I don't know, she was like Wyclef, motherfucking running through every bus though that she met. That girl was what? That girl was real wet.
She was so wet, looked like she just been drowned. Looked like 12 dudes just skeeted in her face and found somewhere to come. I said I'm done. These hoes running out of luck. I'm the one that bring it to them. You know how we do them.
Fatality rap, son. Word. Thought I told you last time, man. I don't think they heard you though, man. I heard you, son. I heard you, man. I know that. So what you gonna do though, B? Big thing I'm saying though. Check this out, yo. Cypher thought I'm interrupting, hit you with my introduction, give you what you want and more. Lyrical predator, kicking the door. Whenever I be settling scores, battle with force, mapping the course. I got a solid plan to be the man, the myth, the legend. Cypher thought I never sweat, and I got weapon plus, you know I'm guaranteed to heat it up with my degrees and my soliloquies. I keep my enemies close. I don't brag or boast because yo, it's evident that I feed my intellect. I'm a still in the life, elevate to my state, correct, perfect my dialect. You should expect distinction, cause just like the P&B, it's always business. I'm doing you in lyrical fest begin. Dramatically, here I go again. When I manifest, I master the test of being capable and able to disable you, label you, enable, medicate you, hit you with the truth. The obvious fact to fit your question now, or threatening the path that I have chosen. I'll be forcibly you're frozen, overdosing off my dosage. Cypher on the spit and braggadocious flows, 86 in most niggas case closed. Cypher on the spit and braggadocious flows, 86 in most niggas case closed. Well, what? Yo, I don't think they heard you though, kid. Yo, spit that. yo, take heed. Poetically, yo, take heed. I don't think they heard you, son. Poetically, yo, take heed. Yo, take heed. Oh, yo, I'm saying, I take heed, man. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? This is serious shit right here. Very, very serious shit. Hey, yo, beware the odds of psycho microphone devices, providing them hype shit, keeping the lot with no surprises. I put it all in your face and make it easy for you to analyze it. I'm rising, steady packing, lyrical shells that blast. Whenever whack cats big whack shit, thrashing. So I'm relentless. I'm on a mission, steady diminishing. Niggas with vengeance, marking them all, leaving them stuck, wondering what be going on when I get on. Cause when I'm on, you don't wanna see me. Cause seeing me would definitely lead you to your ending. D-E-N-D, what? Poetically, yo, take heed. Yo, I don't think they heard you, nigga. Yo, Cypher Dawn, I don't think they heard you, nigga. What? Yo, poetically, yo, take heed. What? Damn. Damn, man, I done told you niggas twice. Shit. Really, though. And niggas still ain't feeling me, man. You know what I'm saying? Fucking around, dragging my feet, pissed off. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good, cause I just had a seed motivation. Smashing and grabbing, smash and grab raps. I counter-attack, fake attack MCs with no steeds, leaving with no spleeds. Cause see, I got a formula that's warming ya. I'm warning ya, you don't wanna test. What am I check? Fuck that, my shit to leave you twitching with shit. For a fixing my shit, as if it was a twisted Optimo filled with hash and grass, I blast it west, I choreograph battle raps that be attacking. I'm splashing, I'm swatting these micro-dot MCs like polka dots, applying the shock them like electrocution, prosecuting a solution. Yo, Cypher Dawn's a Buffalo soldier, sole controller of my shit. What up you need to think about it? Because Cypher Dawn shine bright, keep this light that I ignite. I incite lyrical riots, preparation for when I be smashing all the biters. I'm rocking up the tightest writers on my block and all of my dreadlock niggas is walking lighters, I'm top notch. Fuck around, you get burned head. Lesson number one, learn head. Ask the last nigga who tried to test, oh yeah, that's right, he ain't here to tell you. Lesson number two, yo, poetically, yo, take heed. Hey, saying, yo, Cypher Dawn, B. Cypher Dawn. Not gonna say it anymore, man. Cypher to the D-O-N. Cypher Dawn. Poetically, yo, take heat. Poetically, yo, take heat. Poetically, yo, take heat. Gotta take heat, son.
Here we go, y'all. What the fuck I'm talking about? Combat. 4th and 1, motherfuckers. Yo, it's like this. Ghetto fairy tales. Word up. Yo, it's a street thing. I'm running with thugs who let the heat bang, and Boricuas who slicing niggas till they meat hang. And we bring that dirty street slang that make the G sing, causing ruckus and puffing Dutches on the D train. There's 3 gangs, savage guards, Crips and Bloods, dangerous thugs that rip slugs and flip drugs. I split mugs, dropping 1-2s on your grill piece, pack a 9 piece, cause beef never will cease. Increase my cheese by blessing MICs with incredible ghetto flows, deadliest crime sprees. Wear my pants mad baggy to let my 9 breathe. Blast your ass from behind until your spine bleed. The weeds in my system, don't become a victim. Hollow points in my clip and I'm quick to spit some. I chill with kids from Gowanus to Sheepshead, pack a Desert Ease and squeeze until my beef dead. My sound sick, pop rounds quick at the Crown Vic, loaded with lyrics that let off like 4-pound clips. Smoke a whole ounce with my hardcore announcement, then hitting the Hennessy and find a shorty to bounce with. I roam with the chrome, never leave home without it. Jack me, I doubt it, nigga, you ain't bout it. In crowded rooms, I bring doom like El Nino, wreck the whole scene, yo, hot like jalapeno. Supreme flow, my green grows when I rock tracks. Spot get hot, I cock the motherfucking Glock back and squeeze off till I'm empty like B.I. stashed the gun on the run from police CI. You best believe me and my beamer smoking Chiba, the Grim Reaper. I'm throwing niggas in the sleeper. I keep a gap for people that disrupt my cheddars. The chrome Berettas put holes in polo sweaters. Roll with dough getters who blaze trees and Cherokees. 5-man terror sprees turn enemies to memories. My Bay Shark fam, we deeper than the Genovese. Chasing the dream with my team of ghetto celebrities. Word up, that's real. Combat, remember that. Yo, I pack tools and attack fools, making jack moves. All you whack crews, prepare to get your back bruised. Cash rules, but it don't make you invincible. We live in the land where letting off is a ritual. I pack tools and attack fools, making jack moves. All you whack crews, prepare to get your back bruised. Cash rules, but it don't make you invincible. We live in the land where letting off is a ritual. Word. Combat laying it down with the ghetto sound. You know how I do on the streets. Y'all niggas know my style. Yo, you know I got to get mines. I rip rhymes and spit nines. I blaze for days and sip wines, but never sniff lines. Commit crimes, but never did time because I'm shifty. Running with mad thugs who blast slugs at 50. Fucking with me, it's unwise. You'll see my gun rise. I puff lies and snuff guys that perpetrate tough guys. Paid off for drug buys. I hustle cause I have to. Flip your shit on my script, I got to blast you. Snatching your jewels and your cash too. You fragile, I'm coming at you. Nigga, I'll stick you for your tattoo. A natural born killer like Mickey Knox with 50 Glocks ripping shots. Y'all niggas break out like chicken pox. Getting props, Bushwick to watch how I planned it. I'm pulling cards and wrecking guards like Gambit. Single-handed, I'm here to change the fucking standards of hardcore hip-hop. My shit rock like granite. Never panic, packing automatics for static. I spark nines, leaving chalk lines in your attic. I'm tragic and I attack shit like a Mako. Crippling cats, swinging back like Conseco. I'm here to make dough, break foes who kick the fake flows. Fuck around, I blow your whole compound like Waco. I never take no shorts with murderous thoughts. A lot of niggas I fought, and some I bust down like Newports. A true force of nature, and if I hate you, I'll terminate you with my fucking 12 gauger. Danger! Sword off stuck in your belly button. I'll start bucking and blow your back out like we was fucking. Word. I pack tools and attack fools, making jack moves. All you whack crews, prepare to get your back bruised. Cash rules, but it don't make you invincible. We live in the land where letting off is a ritual. I pack tools and attack fools, making jack moves. All you whack crews, prepare to get your back bruised. Cash rules, but it don't make you invincible. We live in the land where letting off is a ritual. Word up. Combat. Brook Nom. Combat coming back. Laying down like that.
This a song for the haters. Well, he's going off, but ain't nothing wrong. Children remain calm and nod your head to the song. Yes, yes. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, this one's rather badass. I had to put on the all black tux. Ha ha. Ha ha. I've really lost my noggin on this one, fans. Oh yes. The beat goes hard. Wellington. I don't know what a basketball is, but I call the shots. You see me bouncing like one down the cobblestone blocks. Horses go neigh, chickens round me in a flock saying, can we please suck your... I'll cock back the musket, salty haters plummet. Ain't no mountain high enough, I'm gonna reach my summit. I'm one nasty cracker, making all the cheese, and my jewels are so cool that the coppers yell freeze. Stop it! You're so dirty, welly, like a pervert welly. But to my mother, I'm sweeter than sherbet felly. And I'm hot in here like Nelly. When I'm yelling, there's no telling what is gonna spew out. I'm presenting presents to the peasants, gifts to the rich, and my dick to your bitch. Watch as I love her. We ain't the Jakes, but we're under the cover. Your woman is about to be a mother. Ain't that a motherfucker? I'ma get behind these bars like I'm stuck in a cell with a fella named Bubba. But I will not drop the soap, nor drop the baton. I'm going for the gold. You're so silver, no you're not even bronze. Hi-ho silver, I'm getting my pirate on. Naysayers quiver, they don't even have balls. Lumberjack yell timber, these haters are gonna fall. I'm a god the father, you're a slob, why bother? I know it's hard to swallow, you're all hot and bothered. When I bust in your door, I'm pretty hard to ignore. I roll with a gang of lords that stay with short swords. Whoa! I just skip to my loo and never mind you while I do what I do. I said, I just skip to my loo and never mind you while I do what I do. Well, he's going off, but ain't nothing wrong. Children remain calm and nod your heads to the song. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha, economy's going down, but Welly has stayed strong. So gents, raise your arms, and madams sing along, all night long till the break of freaking dawn. Ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, I've been gone for a bit, but Welly has stayed strong. Okay, I am like a pistol, if someone makes a diss song, everyone gets shit on, everyone gets pissed on, even from a distance, I will not miss one, every enemy on thy back, when I hit them. So stop the resistance, good riddance, Welly brings an end to your petty existence. Yes, how you like me, haters, I know every damn move you use to fight me, haters. Okay, pause for a second, you're in awe for a second, I walk in, ladies ask, did you fall here from heaven? And I say, you must be tired, why? Cause you've been gallivanting through my mind all night. And I knew she got the message, cause Wellington's just another word for sexy. She knows I got to have her, the limelight, fast life, glitz and glamour. And this song has reached commencement, but not to worry, a remix is expected. And these haters better not be tempted, cause Welly won't fail to disrespect them. Welly's going off, but ain't nothing wrong. Children remain calm and nod your heads to the song. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha, economy's going down, but Welly has stayed strong. So gents, raise your arms, and madams sing along, all night long till the break of freaking dawn. Ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, I've been gone for a bit, but Welly has stayed strong. Indeed. Ha ha. Excuse me while I clear my throat on these naysayers. So let this be a warning to all of you cowards out there letting slander spill out your lips. You know you'll get pummeled by either me or a couple hundred men in my militia. Yeah, and let this be a warning to you madams too. Any ladies out there talking mess, they could get Chris Browned. I'll Chris Brown a wench, I'll do it. Push me, I swear. It's tea time, bitches. Welly's returned triumphantly. Haha. Yes. And I say, lords, 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 raise your swords, just raise your swords. Bitches, 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 I'm looking for the ones with the fattest London bridges. Ta-ta, cheerio, carry on. Be very nervous, be very afraid. Wellington, Wellington. Beat compliments a T. Vance. Much thanks.
Damn, look at the titties on that shit. Damn, look at the ass on that bitch.
Damn, look at the lips on that mouth. They can't be real. We're all the ladies that I know y'all in here. You need to step forward and yell out, yeah. After you can go sit your ass in a chair, cause you ain't a real woman with fake titties and hair. We're all the ladies that I know y'all in here. You need to step forward and yell out, yeah. After you can go sit your ass in a chair, cause you ain't a real woman with fake titties and hair. I know a girl filled with collagen and Botox who agrees the size of her lips so when she blows on cocks, it only takes a few licks to blow his load. I can't believe you would stoop so low. If you wanted bigger lips, you should have started talking shit, and your mouth would have been the first place that I hit. You over there talking about silicone. They're perfectly fine, just leave them alone. Trying to trick me, shirt on, all in the zone. Now I got you topless, feel like I'm looking at some cones. Saw a girl whose chest was all flat, figured all natural, let me holler at that. We started talking, she grabbed my bone. We commenced the walk-in and led me home. Soon as we got in the door, clothes on the floor, condom in my palm to protect this score. Then she reached over, took it out of my hand, proceed to put it on. I can't believe it's a man. For all the ladies that I know y'all in here, you need to step forward and yell out, yeah. Half of you can go sit your ass in a chair, cause you ain't a real woman with fake titties and hair. We're all the ladies that I know y'all in here. You need to step forward and yell out, yeah. Half of you can go sit your ass in a chair, cause you ain't a real woman with fake titties and hair. Pants with pads, now there's ass to haul, knowing damn well she has no ass at all. It's down to the wire when I hear last call. That's when I saw that booty pass my balls, with no time to stall. I buy us both drinks, she eyes me up and down, so what do you think? Offer ride home, then I slide in a wink. But my real intention's to slide in the pink. Start going at it soon as we step through the door. Down to her knees, then all fours. Lick my lips prepared to stick the rear. Pants come off, ass disappears. Start thinking to myself, what the fuck? Just 2 seconds ago you had a butt. Thought I saw a mountain, now I'm seeing a rut. Whatever, cause I'ma still go pound this slut. We're all the ladies that I know y'all in here. You you need to step forward and yell out, yeah. Happy you can go sit your ass in a chair, cause you ain't a real woman with fake titties and hair. Where all the ladies at? I know y'all in here. You need to step forward and yell out, yeah. Happy you can go sit your ass in a chair, cause you ain't a real woman with fake titties and hair.
Dr. 90210, can't do shit for you, ho. The movies got me woozy cause they drooping down low. All the hair on your nose, from your fingers to your toes, should all be real. Don't turn plastic and peel. They breaking the seal with a sharp enough steel, but the plastic is skin and that knife can kill. Your identity is what they gon' steal. Too many fakers in this place, I feel like I'm ill. Ready for the reveal like I'm watching a swan. You got a messed up grill, some veneers, you the bomb. Calf implants to tuck in your ears, bleaching buttholes, man, what's new this year? Does anyone feel what's gonna happen when you get old? When your face starts to crack and your body starts to fold? Cause any real women that I can hold, throw away the puzzle pieces, start breaking the mold.
Where all the ladies at? I know y'all in here. You need to step forward and yell out, yeah. Happy you can go sit your ass in a chair, cause you ain't a real woman with fake titties and hair. Where all the ladies at? I know y'all in here. You need to step forward and yell out, yeah. Happy you can go sit your ass in a chair, cause you ain't a real woman with fake titties and hair. Fake ass bitch.
You got that fire ass weed, man, I keep that shit. You got a gun in your car, man, I keep that shit. You got money in your pocket, man, I keep that shit. But all that hating in that front, we don't need that shit. You still slang that dope, boy, I keep that shit. You still stacking that dope, man, I keep that shit. I heard you smoking a lot of dro, man, I keep that shit. But all that hating in that front, we don't need that shit. Nigga, I started rapping cause the dope game slowed up. I never forget when my OG showed us. All that shit you talking about, we been doing that shit. The real niggas show me love. I'm from the dirty blood, the murder meeting. It ain't no competition, nigga, listen. I handle mine in the streets. I hustle too hard to let a broke nigga take what I got. Before I die, I'm screaming, fuck you, pay me. You think you gon' short me? You must be crazy, I been holding my nuts. When I roll up, these niggas know what's up. When I was 15, had the whole block sold up, nigga, A1 Yola. You got that fire ass weed, man, I keep that shit. You got a gun in your car, man, I keep that shit. You got money in your pocket, man, I keep that shit. But all that hating in that front, we don't need that shit. You still slanging that dope, boy, I keep that shit. You still stacking that dope, man, I keep that shit. I heard you smoke a lot of dro, man, I keep that shit. But all that front and that hating, we don't need that shit. We ride Chevys with the T-tops. Weed so good, you can smell it through the ziplock. Candy paint so wet, when I'm riding I be dripping. I stay sipping on that VSOP. Where I'm from the F-L-I-N-T. But you can catch me in the deuce, yeah, selling that yay. Down the street from where the Wolverines play. The big house, I'm trying not to see the big house. Cause niggas around here got a big mouth. These niggas think I'm from the south, nope, I'm from the top of the map. You see the strap? I fuck around and shoot the button off the top of your hat, just to let you know where you at. See, we all strapped. I'm on the block, man, slanging that crack. You got that fire ass weed, man, I keep that shit. You got a gun in your car, man, I keep that shit. You got money in your pocket, man, I keep that shit. But all that hating in that front, we don't need that shit. You still slanging that dope, boy, I keep that shit. You still stacking that dope, man, I keep that shit. I heard you smoke a lot of dro, man, I keep that shit. But all that hating in that front, we don't need that shit. I knock him out the park like King Griffey. We put some Chevys with the 350s. This game's so shifty. Sip Henny, money and hoes, I got plenty. On the block, we run from the cops and hit fences. Picture every nigga in my hood on 20 inches. We hustle like it's a contest. Rolling down the street with the 4-5 on the armrest. Niggas know who flows the best. That be sunny. I'm stacking my money because I'm hungry. I'm trying to survive. Every day I'm high. I'm trying to live. Niggas know what it is. I'm on the streets getting money. Nigga trying to stack paper. Nigga, I get it how I live. You got that fire ass weed, man, I keep that shit. You got a gun in your car, man, I keep that shit. You got money in your pocket, man, I keep that shit. But all that hating in that front, we don't need that shit. You still slanging that dope, boy, I keep that shit. You still stacking that dope, man, I keep that shit. I heard you smoke a lot of dro, man, I keep that shit. But all that front and that hating, we don't need that shit. You know what it is, nigga. Sunny Street Gang, nigga. Mafioso, nigga. I represent the block, nigga.
What, nigga? This is the beat that y'all can't hear and I can. What? I want my money, I want my money. I want my money, I want my money. I want my money, I want my money. Here I come. Boy, I've been checking you a few years. Hope you motherfucking 2G's here. I let you slide with the rest. $75. That's all I'm gonna let holler. I'm gonna go to your crib and kick in your dough. Beat your mom up and beat your dad up too though. And to beat your dog down. Fuck with your whole family and tear the fish tank down. Bitch, I'm mad, I want my cheese. You fucking with the wrong dude, Hooky D. I know where your sister stays at. Let me go get my strap. Point at the gat. And threat your whole family for $75. Don't make me holler. For $75. I want my money, I want my money. I want my money. I want my money, I want my money. I want my money, I want my money. Now you used to be my dog. Riding my car, touch your motherfucking ass stank so far. Smelt you in my crib and stunk it up. Nigga, what the fuck? You smell like a dead skunk. Made my crib smell all funky. Girls come on over.
What, you got a dead donkey? Or a dog trapped up in the pen?
Nah, girl, it's just a nigga feet again. I want my money, get on my crib. Cause your fucking feet stink. Your feet stink, bitch. Give me my fucking money. I want my money, want my money. I want my money. Now, I know I robbed some people. It ain't my fault, I had to get crazy. Cause he did something to my dog. But don't make me rip you off. Take up your whole ride. Sell it in one day, alright? $75 all I want. They can have the whole car right on the spot. For $75. I want my money, I want my money.
Pimp daddies.
Stay fresh. Do you wanna ride with a player? Come on and ride with me. Do you wanna ride? Do you wanna ride? Do you wanna ride with a pimp? Come on and ride with me. Do you wanna ride? Do you wanna ride?
Sit back in it, windows tinted. My whip's not rented, my seats stay fitted. I like to meet a nice bright tenant to fill it. Only mess with the best, my address reads the realest. Hear the sounds of the underground, yes I'm chillin'. Speakers bumping, tires spilling. Yeah, something when you're making a killing. And I'm grinding, stillin' and ready and willing. We cure like penicillin, top notch, top billing. Hip hop I'm feeling and I'm not drug dealing. To make my living it was written that I'm spitting. You rollin' with a pimp who's pimpin' in a mint. Rim still spinning, yes I'm sinning. More or less I'm winning, fresh pressed and linen. I like my women when they swimming with diamonds the size of lemons. I'm on the rise, I surprise this whole game quick. It's a trick that I flip this whole game shit. I want this whole thing grip. Is that a homeboy hit running the slip? Yeah, Katie's a pimp.
Do you wanna ride with a player? Come on and ride with me. Do you wanna ride? Do you wanna ride? Do you wanna ride with a pimp? Come on and ride with me. Do you wanna ride? Do you wanna ride? P-I-M-P. Players in many places, y'all done heard about me. Not cocky but confident. That's cause so many girls give me compliments. Like you so fly, you so cool. Tell me R&B, can I ride with you? You know me, I'm tight with that. But let me tell you something before you lean back. I'm a pimp, that ain't gon' change. These haters kick dirt on my name. They always be talking bullshit. That's why I be fucking they hood chicks. Don't hate the player, just hate the game. And maybe one day you can have the same. But till then, your talk is cheap. So save a lot and don't talk to me. Do you wanna ride with a player? Come on and ride with me. Do you wanna ride? Do you wanna ride? Do you wanna ride with a pimp? Come on and ride with me. Do you wanna ride? Do you wanna ride?
I got chicks all around me. Even my shadow is macking, so I can see all these haters around me. Black, white, Asian, Italian girls saying that Tay's amazing. The doc is in and I'm seeing patience, but lock the door, a room for the days in. Don't be shocked to score the sirens blazing for one more round of hardcore tasting. With your body basted, let's just face it, we both look good, straight butt naked. I wish you would stop your shaking. The issue's good, but I've been faking. I kiss you once for not breaking. Now it's time to go. You score low and you rank it. You messing with a player and a pimp, not Clay Aiken.
Do you wanna ride with a player? Come on and ride with me. Do you wanna ride? Do you wanna
This
ride?
podcast was produced by BHatch Books. BHatchBooks.com. Music for this podcast was provided by T Vance. Find his music at ReverbNation.com/T Vance. Thank you for listening.